Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Breese-Stevens Field in Madison, Wisconsin, the 2014 USA Rugby Emirates Airline Division II Men's National Championship. My name is Eric Tabor for USA Rugby. With me, Jeff Hall, CNN's Bleacher Report. And Jeff, this has got the makings of just a fantastic ball game. Two completely contrasting styles.
It is a clash of styles, Eric, and I think what you're going to see today is a Rocky Gorge team completely bent on ball control. They're going to try and starve Tempe of possession, and on Tempe's part, you're going to try and see a dynamic attack from them. You're going to try and see them moving the ball to space and really let loose some of their attacking threats on the outside.
Yeah, absolutely. Tempe, a lot of creative ball carriers, a lot of guys who know how to move the ball, know how to find the spots, and a lot of experience, too, for such a young team. They've got guys 18, 19, 20 years old that are starting and playing very well for this Tempe squad. And, conversely, the Rocky Gorge team, not quite as young, but a fairly young squad, and they're mostly made up of guys from one local area, and so they've got a lot of cohesiveness. You know what I mean? They've got a game plan, and they're going to have to stick with it.
It's a powerful game plan in the forwards. What we have here is a situation where Rocky Gorge is going to be trying to put Tempe under pressure all day at the set piece, all day in the lineout. They're going to try and get field position and drive for that goal line. That's their game plan. If they can do it, they have a chance at the national championship. If not, it may be a long day for Rocky Gorge.
Well, we're about 30 seconds away from the kickoff here at Breese-Stevens Field in Madison, Wisconsin. The Division II National Championship coming right up. And the referee for today's game, Josh Houston, gets the game underway, and the kick immediately, not 10. And we will have a scrum down to Tempe at midfield. Josh Houston, the referee, assisted today from Sean Bastick and Trevor Williams. So as we said, folks, welcome to Breese-Stevens Field here. Beautiful Madison, Wisconsin. Gorgeous day here in Madison. Mid-80s, mid to low 80s. Nice breeze blowing in, and this is gonna play right into the hands of Tempe. Of course, it's about 110 degrees for the last month down there, so they're used to the heat. And immediately we see Tempe scrum holding strong.
Worrying signs for Rocky Gorge, Eric, that scrum went backwards so quickly at the first possession.
Yeah, so the roster for Tempe is just loaded with notable names. Rocky Gorge is going to have to contend in the front row with Kalepi Fafita at tight head prop. Fafita coming off the bench in this game, but Kalepi Fafita is going to be playing Division I football up in Northern Arizona next year. He's only 18 years old. And he is just a beast in the front row. He's been a high school All-American 3 years in a row. Decided he wasn't going to pursue rugby. He's going to pursue football. And this is going to be his last game before he takes off to go play some Division I football up at NAU for Lumberjacks.
Well, we've got our first shot at goal, Eric, and I think right now this is not the way that Rocky Gorge wanted to start this game. They're intent on using their forwards to achieve field position and put Tempe under pressure, but their first scrum was blown backwards. Now they've conceded a penalty, and it looks like they're going to be down 3-0 should this kick go through.
Adrian Tefu lining up another high school American product to take this kick. Tefu's kick wide left. And so Tefu's kick no good, so our score remains 0-0. Now it's sort of all in the family for this Tempe team. Adrian Tefu playing at 15, Alex Tefu playing fly half. Alex, high school All-American several years in a row. Also a U20 All-American on the team that won the Junior World Trophy out in Salt Lake City 2 years ago. And here is Tempe receiving that ball. Number 14, Ryan Thompson collected that ball. Ryan Thompson, son of Salty Thompson, high school All-American head coach, and also brother of Brett Thompson, USA Eagle Sevens.
Tempe's attack-minded offense is perhaps not selected for their kicking ability, Eric, but nonetheless, that first kick has to be worrying. I mean, that was the fullback, Alex Teifu, who missed that kick from right in front of the post. And if you do that early in a game, it just encourages the opposition to think they can infringe. You know, I think Rocky Gorge is going to take heart from that, and they're going to be a little bolder at the breakdown because of it.
There's actually Adrian Teifu. We're going to get those two mixed up all day, I think. Those two names are very close to one another. Oh, big hit there from the Tempe prop, Denton Poulet. But not releasing in the tackle is Tempe, and we got a penalty to Rocky Gorge.
I think we're going to have a conversation here from the referee, perhaps our first of the game.
Time off. Emotions definitely running high out here for both teams.
As referee Sean Bastick is summoning a Tempe player, and it certainly looks as though Tempe is going to have to watch themselves. You do not want to get into the mind of the referee as the team that's causing infringements early in this match. Not releasing was the call. And we'll see what kind of field position Rocky Gorge can get from this.
Ball kicked out to the street.
For those of you following us on Twitter, make sure you're using the hashtag NCS2014 to let us know your thoughts on the match and support your team online.
Line out a bit sloppy, but controlled by Tempe. Here's Adrian Teifu. Sorry, Austin Teifu. The three Teifu brothers on the squad. Rocky Gorge getting themselves organized now, setting up in real sort of basic offensive pattern designed to control ball and control possession and do that only. Nice hard rucking there. And again, good solid defense there from the Tempe Old Devils. Nice tackling in pairs there. Is that really tackling the man and the ball at the same time, not allowing Rocky Gorge any go forward whatsoever.
I think we're getting a first glimpse at the Rocky Gorge game plan in practice, Eric. This is forward continuity, possession at its finest, meaning to starve Tempe of the ball. And going forward is not necessarily the #1 priority for them at this point. They're intent on keeping possession of the ball, moving forward gradually, and just denying Tempe possession early in this match to try and ride out any burst of energy from Tempe.
Now ball going wide for the first time with Rocky Gorge, and here is Adrian Teifu sending the ball back down to Rocky Gorge, not finding touch though. So Rocky Gorge clearing the ball out wide now. Let's see if they can get past this Tempe defense. Nice tackle there from Temo Eapau. More big hits coming in now for both teams. Physical stuff out there, and we've got a penalty to Rocky Gorge. Looks like hands in.
Second penalty against Tempe in a row, Eric, and referee is the referee is not going to enjoy having these conversations with Tempe if they continue to infringe.
Yeah, Josh Houston won't stand for it. So that's twice. Yeah, he stopped the clock to have a bit of a chat now. Ball again gets sent into the street, and we will have a line out to Rocky Gorge. So yeah, exactly. Rocky Gorge controlling this possession now.
I think one of the advantages that you have to take note of in this situation, Eric, is that by holding on to possession, retaining possession through continuity, moving down the field, you put your opponents under pressure at the breakdown, and they will try and infringe if they're not patient. Tempe has to learn some patience if they're going to succeed in this match.
Yeah, good line-out win there from this Rocky Gorge team. Rocky Gorge, as we mentioned, all sort of born and bred in the same area. They're all from the Maryland area, graduates of Salisbury University, Towson University, right in that neck of the woods. So they've all got a lot of experience playing fairly high-level rugby. Salisbury, obviously, national champions at D2 level. Very good, well-coached rugby team at the university level. And a penalty to Rocky Gorge, so immediately they're pointing towards the posts. And they will go for a penalty here, so this is a big kick for Rocky Gorge.
An opportunity to put themselves in front early, and no less than they deserve, Eric, for their continuity, the organization of their attack. They're executing their game plan about as perfectly as I think they could hope at this point. And if they can nail this through, I think Tempe is going to have to start thinking very seriously about their behavior at the breakdown. They can't afford to start giving away points like this early in the match.
So Pete Ressler, number 10, to take the kick. And, you know, this is a chip kick, really. He should have no problems with this one. And if he is successful, he will put Rocky Gorge up 3-0. Kick is up. Kick is good. Rocky Gorge on top, 3-0 from a kick from Peter Ressler.
If you were to have scripted an opening to this match for Rocky Gorge, Eric, I doubt it could have been scripted better. You know, the missed kick, the unforced errors in counterattack from Tempe, and the penalties at the breakdown. You know, the captain and leadership on the field for Rocky Gorge has to know that the referee is watching Tempe very carefully now. 3 consecutive penalties. So they're going to want to take advantage of that, and I would expect to see just the same amount of possession and ball control from them on this next attempt.
Oh, instead they choose to kick it away. Now they're kicking downfield. Ryan Thompson to collect. Ball is out of bounds. We're going to have a Tempe line out right around midfield. Oh, ball was kicked out of bounds from outside the 22, so the line out will happen down in the Rocky Gorge half of the field. That's a tough break for Rocky Gorge. And this is a huge line out for Tempe. They need to collect this ball and get some momentum going if they're going to strike next. Oh, a nice line out, but not straight, says Josh Houston. So that is not what the Old Devils needed.
For those of you who were able to watch our first men's game, the Division III championship game, what we saw in that match was Life West committing a number of unforced errors and really taking themselves out of the ball game early, allowing the opposition advantages where it wasn't necessary. And we're seeing some of the same things here early from Tempe. Perhaps a little bit of nervousness, perhaps a little bit of over-ambitiousness, we'll see. But they're going to have to cut out these unforced errors if they want to try and make progress.
Well, I don't think the ball has moved past the inside center for the Old Devils yet this game, so that the game plan of theirs is not really being executed. And there's a missed tackle, and Rocky Gorge now with some space. Good tackle there from the fullback. That was Adrian Tefu, and he forced the error knock-on from Rocky Gorge. Man, big break there from Rocky Gorge. Gets them out of their own territory and really, relieves some pressure.
It was good hands in the offload, Eric, by that, keeping your hands free in the offload is a very modern skill in rugby. and you saw that in evidence right there. It's the type of thing that you're going to need. I don't think that Rocky Gorge are going to be able to, to make those breaks with raw speed. They're going to have to keep their hands free. They're going to have to offload in order to keep the ball moving forward in attack.
Oh, we've got a bad delivery there. Oh no, ball bouncing around all over the place for Tempe. Here's Alex Tefu, he's wrapped up. Now Tempe's got some space. Can they find the holes? Nice line there from Austin Tefu. Ryan Thompson still on his feet. And we got a turnover there. Nope, we've got a penalty to Tempe. Here comes Tefu to Tefu. And no, the referee didn't like it. He wants it right back in front of him. That's unfortunate because Tempe really had their tails up there.
Now, we had a Tempe player at that moment, Eric, talking to the referee, asking about what the call was at the breakdown. And during that moment, the referee's back was turned as Tempe was attempting to take it quickly. So, they're going to have to calm themselves a little bit. There was an opportunity there to go quickly and put Rocky Gorge under pressure, and it was lost, due to some referee management issues. So let's...
if we got the replay going here, we can perhaps see what's going on. And he had the penalty, and Tefu, referee's had his head turned the wrong way. He should have seen the ball in front of him. Anyway, regardless, we've got a line out here now to Tempe, and it is successfully collected. And the Old Devils putting together a maul. Maul is sort of disintegrated quickly. And here they come. And it's not releasing the ball. Penalty to Rocky Gorge. Another opportunity gone waning for Tempe.
Some angry words and angry faces coming from the Tempe side at this point, Eric. It looks to me as if they're getting a little frustrated, perhaps more so with themselves than with the referee or their opposition. Unforced errors, and they're turning over the ball. But now they have the ball back. Let's see what they can create.
Yep, unforced error there from Rocky Gorge. James Viafale. Viafale, number 11, just served as a U20 All-American out in Hong Kong for the Junior All-Americans. Was a starter in all of those games.
That first scrum of the match, Eric, was so encouraging for Tempe. They blasted Rocky Gorge backwards. They looked like they were full of running and full of purpose in that opening 5 minutes. Let's see what they can create here off the set piece. See if they can take one against the head.
Yeah, that's a good win there in the scrum for Rocky Gorge. Nice defensive line from Tempe coming up flat. Good job from little Alex Tefu there.
Numerous players into the ruck for Rocky Gorge, but in a ball control offense, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Rocky Gorge has not shown that they're intent on moving the ball incredibly wide, and here they attempt to be playing for a little field position. So.
Kick is not in touch yet, and finds touch. Solid kick from Rocky Gorge. They're a fly half wrestler.
It must be said, Eric, that head coach Will Brewington and Rocky Gorge could not have actually asked for a better start to this game. They were worried in my conversations with them before this game about a flurry of attack. Tempe starting full of running and perhaps getting down early, but they've executed their ball control and field position strategy to a T.
Yeah, Will Brewington, former Eagle, certainly knows how to direct a game plan. Oh, nice line there from the number 8 for the Old Devils, Temo Piao. Oh, there's Sione Latoy. Great line there from Latoy. Back through Tefu now. Little miscommunication there from Tefu, and there's Tama Piao. Just kind of hoofing it down, a little desperation kick. You don't like to see that stuff. But the desperation kick from Rocky Gorge comes right into Viafale's hands, and Viafale is a stepper. Watch him look. Instead of passing, he hangs on to it, might be isolated, and he is. It's not releasing the tackler is the call. So dangerous play there from young James Viafale. Trying to do a little too much, trying to, kind of show off a bit. He had some men outside, probably easily could have passed that ball to secure it a bit tighter than that, but regardless, we have a penalty.
You can see a little bit of the athleticism that Rocky Gorge was perhaps worrying about in that counterattack, Eric. It's a situation that they were, concerned about in my talks with them. They've done a good job of keeping, the ball, keeping possession, and keeping Tempe's attacking threats from getting any open space. You saw a little bit of it there. Tempe's got a good throw into the line-out position here in the Rocky Gorge end, so let's see what they make out of it. Some pretty complex movement from the backs here.
Oh, and the line out goes into the hands of Rocky Gorge, and it's picked off by Austin Tefu, and not sure what the call is here. A knock on. I might want to see the replay of that one if we can scrape it up, but
the fans on the sideline certainly feel that they had their own opinion about that call.
Yeah, I hear that. Here we go. Well, here's the line out steal from Rocky Gorge. Great take there from number 6, Michael Meehan. And I'm not sure I'm seeing the knock on. I don't know. Yeah,
it's one of those calls that they're going to have to put out of their mind rather quickly.
Yep.
And Rocky Gorge has actually been very methodical in their approach to this match, so hopefully that it won't be a bother for them. But now they have their own back set up, and I think you're very likely going to be seeing a crash ball here or a pickup at the back of the scrum.
Yeah, we'll see nothing fancy here from Rocky Gorge. Rocky Gorge got a nice cheering section here. They brought a ton of fans out to Pittsburgh when they beat Wisconsin to make it to this game, and they also have a strong contingency here today. There you go. That was a 6 pick there, it looks like. Crash ball here. Good defense from the Old Devils. More solid defense. Not a lot of creativity happening here for this Rocky Gorge team. That's all right. They wanted to hold possession. Wrestler was all kinds of bottled up there. And here come Rocky Gorge keeping it in the forwards again.
One of the key elements of a team that uses their forwards as effectively as this is body position and contact. And you're going to have to see Rocky Gorge getting low, working in 2s and 3s to try and achieve that body position that allows them clean ball.
Uh-oh, now we got numbers out here for Rocky Gorge. Big opportunity for them. Ball thrown away, and Tempe's going to pick it up. Here comes Alex Tefu. Alex Tefu, chip kick ahead. James Viafale chasing it down. Good defense from Viafale. And he drives Rocky Gorge into touch. Rocky Gorge wing number 11, Jay Benendi.
Calls of water, calls of enthusiasm, but also calls for refreshment going out from players. The sun is hot here in Madison, Wisconsin, and these players want to get hydrated. It's a good opportunity for us to remind you of our social media hashtag NCS2014. Tweet us your thoughts on the match, and we might read a few of them out here on the air on USA Rugby TV.
So while we have a break in the action here, we'd like to take a moment to thank Gatorade. Gatorade knows every victory starts from within. It's not the determination to come up big when it matters most, but no athlete does it alone. They need training and fuel to perform. That's how greatness comes from within. Win from within with Gatorade.
Both teams looking to start getting rolling again. The game has entered a period of back and forth, Eric, with a little bit of aimless kicking, some unforced errors, and I think we're just kind of looking for a breakthrough moment from one of these teams.
Yeah, some connection problems with the 9 and 10 combination here. Some errant passing going on. Oh, wow. Teifu's pass almost picked off, but it slipped through the hands and into Sione Latoy's hands, and Tempe regains momentum. Now here's a big run from number 21. That's Christopher Iosifo. His cousin, a standout at University of Montana. And we've got some knock-ons happening here, and the referee blows the whistle. No, we have play-ons as a referee. He had his arm out for advantage. Rocky Gorge maintains possession. So advantage over from the referee. Rocky Gorge keeping their feet. Joshua Cherriman, nice run from number 12. Looks like we have a player down there for Tempe. Big kick ahead now from the scrum half for Rocky Gorge. Nick Byler. Here's Iosifo. And Teifu can't quite find his man, and it's a bit of sloppy play there. German Muller couldn't quite hang on to it. Smart kick ahead there from Rocky Gorge. Ball's alive, dribbling down towards the line. Here comes Teifu. He has to kick it out of bounds. Nice relief of pressure from Teifu, but now Rocky Gorge in a primo position to score here, Jeff.
70-meter play there, Eric, and what this means for Rocky Gorge is that they're going to have an opportunity to put their forwards to work within 5 meters of the Tempe line. This is really the best attacking position in terms of a try that Rocky Gorge has enjoyed all game. And again, it's coming from a little bit of carelessness and a little bit of, I think, naivete on the part of the Tempe backs. They just cannot continue to afford these opportunities to their opponents in a championship game.
So this is a big line out to Rocky Gorge now. And it's a try for Rocky Gorge. The big number 8, Josh Brown for Rocky Gorge, gets the try off the line out, and that was really well worked, Jeff.
It was a practice ground move, Eric. And you can see from here, clean line-out win by Rocky Gorge, a simple play, and actually worryingly simple for Tempe. I mean, that play was right off the practice ground. So, if Tempe is not going to keep their defense to a high standard in a situation as high pressure as that, I think it's going to send a very strong message to Rocky Gorge that that's exactly the type of direct play they need to take for the rest of this game.
Yeah, well drawn up movement there from Rocky Gorge. So this is all of a sudden turned into a bit of a kind of a, well, I don't want to say a blowout, but, Tempe just making too many mistakes.
Well, it's a script reversal, isn't it, Eric? I mean, the offense, the scoring threats were all supposed to be with Tempe, on this Rugby Saturday in America. Everyone thought that they were the high-octane offense, but what has come from this series of possessions and the continuity and the game plan of Rocky Gorge has been a breakdown in organization, especially on defense for Tempe. But when you have scoring threats as they do, when you're capable of putting up big numbers and putting them up fast, 8 points is not a serious deficit to overcome. But time is running out in this half if they're going to, tie it up before halftime.
So Peter Ressler's conversion kick successful, and Adrian Tefu's kick to restart play goes dribbling out of bounds. So we're going to have a line out, it looks like. Or is this a scrum? We got a line out to Rocky Gorge deep in their own territory. So line out win for Rocky Gorge, maintaining possession.
Rocky Gorge was very confident in their lineup in my pregame conversations. They said they had a huge variety of techniques and that they weren't worried at all about being able to get clean ball at any position in the field. It was one of the strengths they felt, something that had been working for them very well in the lead up to this tournament and to this championship game. A little bit of an aimless kick though right there.
Bounces into the hands of the Rocky Gorge receiver, number 2, Matt Carroll. So really Rocky Gorge getting all the bounces right now. Oh, and here's a errant kick into the hands of Io Sifo. He's a big unit to bring down. Tempe looking to set some ball play up here. Oh, a chip kick ahead. There's a little gap back there, but he may have overcooked it, and he did. So instead of trying to play a smart ball here while they're down 10 points, they kind of go for the bit of flashiness there, and it kind of backfires on them. We're going to throw it down now to Katie Wurst. Katie, what do you got for us?
Hi, guys. This is Shannon Bustillos down on the sideline. What you guys said was spot on earlier about Rocky Gorge coming out strong, coming out hard. We thought we were going to see a lot faster pace with the Tempe team. It seems like Rocky Gorge is really taking it at them. At the last water break, you could overhear the coach say 1 meter at a time, boys. So that seems to be the game plan that you guys brought up they were going to start out with, and it seems they're sticking to it, and it's working for them.
Excellent. Shannon Bustillos down there, not Katie Wurst. Sorry about that, Shannon. Thank you for that insight.
A big push from Tempe in the scrum, but we have strong carries from the back by Rocky Gorge, and once again they go into their game plan here of ball retention.
Nice tackle there from Tefu. Big hit there from Io Sifo. And Rocky Gorge recycling it slowly, taking their time. This is organized stuff from Rocky Gorge. Here's a smart chip ahead. But we've got a penalty. Not sure what the referee's doing here.
Marching Tempe backwards, Eric, and it looks as though another infringement.
So here is the kick coming up here.
And I think
That was
he's
the
no
big
arms
hit.
in the tackle, I believe, was what the call was there.
There's no arms in the tackle. No, nothing in the replay. So regardless, we are going to have a penalty to Rocky Gorge. Now Tempe back in their own 22. So this is another dangerous territory here for the Old Devils.
When I talked to Tempe head coach Junior Fasav at the beginning of this match, what he expressed to me was that this was a group of players that had been together for 3 years. Their teamwork, their commitment to each other in the program had evolved, and he felt utterly confident that if his players went out and executed the systems that they'd practiced for 3 years and had evolved, that they would be successful.
And we got a try here for Rocky Gorge. No, we do not. A knock on.
one of the things that happens, of course, Eric, is that all plans are fantastic until they come into contact with the enemy. And what I think Tempe is struggling right now with is the idea that Rocky Gorge's game plan is succeeding brilliantly, and their own is kind of suffering. They're not getting enough possession, and they're not making use of the possession they have. So something is going to have to be done, and it may be the best they can do is to survive until game time ends at the half, so that their head coach can have a little bit of a talk with them.
Well, here's a change of possession here. Short arm penalty. Oh, and some errant hands in there. Scooped that ball backwards, and Rocky Gorge changes possession again. A lot of turnover in this game for both teams. And we've got another stoppage of play, knock on from Tempe.
It's a good opportunity to say thank you for joining us here on USA Rugby TV, wherever you're watching, whether it's at Bar 10 in Tempe, Arizona, or anywhere around the USA Rugby universe. We thank you so much for joining us. Please make sure you let everybody else through your social media, through your telephone, and heck, get out there and shout it out in the streets. We have a full day of rugby lined up for you here with national championship games for men and women Division I still to come. Don't go anywhere.
Get that hashtag out, NCS 2014. That's the National Championship Series. Big day of rugby here in Madison, Wisconsin, as Tempe is facing Rocky Gorge right now, and Rocky Gorge on top 10-0. And I think the pundits weren't expecting this, but as we've been talking about, game plan, game plan, game plan. Rocky Gorge going to just recycle the ball here plenty of times. A drop goal attempt from Peter Ressler. No good. So,
well, isn't that a pleasant surprise, Eric, to see a drop goal attempt in a U.S. National Championship game? It's really a hallmark of all ball control teams, isn't it? Achieving that field position from which you can attempt a drop at goal. And it was gratifying to see that Rocky Gorge felt comfortable enough to execute that. It didn't work out for them in that moment, but it would have been an important score if they had.
Yeah, you love to see the confidence from the guys. If they're up by 10 points, why not have a crack? So here's some space out wide for Rocky Gorge now. Jonathan Bierman.
Again, some angry voices coming from some of the players down there, especially on the Tempe side, but the calmness of mind to have the quick throw, and they're out with another possession of their own.
Teifu with the box kick. Here comes, there's a knock on. Ball's available for Tempe. Oh, and another knock on.
Again, it's the unforced errors, and Tempe are really going to have a good talk at halftime. I think if you want to look at some of the play we've seen from Rocky Gorge, ask yourselves how many of their passes they've executed could be considered high risk. We're talking about 1, 2, 3 meter passes, offloads, very sure hands, very low percentage, low risk rugby, high percentage, low risk rugby. And, it's a game plan that's succeeding for them miraculously well. Their leaders on the field are really allowing them to play calm rugby, but again, a solid push in the scrum by Tempe there.
Temo Ipao. Denton Poulet now. The props for Tempe. Keeping it in tight. Oh, Sione Latoy can't hold on to it. Picked off by Rocky Gorge. Number 11, Jay Bendetti. Bendetti going to go all the way for a try for Rocky Gorge.
Oh, that's absolutely heartbreaking, Eric. That was perhaps the first time in the game we'd seen the truly ambitious play from the Tempe backline. Wide spin passes, skipping 1, 2 players, and they looked for all the money in the world to have a serious overlap there. But again, it's their hands that let them down, and a 70-meter turnaround try that really puts them under a lot of pressure now heading into halftime.
And I'm really noticing the 9-10 combination for Tempe is just falling apart. There hasn't been a clean delivery, the 9-10, almost the entire game. There's just no go forward in the offense.
Well, regardless of whether this kick goes over, a 15-0 deficit was definitely not the plan for Tempe going into this game. I don't think you could have found many people who know these two teams and have watched their performances throughout these playoffs who would have predicted a 15-0 scoreline for Rocky Gorge at the half, yet there it sits. Rocky Gorge and Tempe have both enjoyed a lot of success, but Rocky Gorge's last game ended up being one of the closest in all of the National Championship Series, emerging 34-33 victors over New Haven. And that game, they gave up a lot of points going down the stretch to make it a bit of a knife fight. Nervous stuff, but they're exhibiting no nervousness here at all.
The kick from Peter Ressler, no good, so the score remains 15-0. But as we said, this was no one could have predicted this, and Tempe's going to have to get the heads up a little bit. If you kind of look around, guys are all got their chins down a little bit. We need some of that fire back in this Tempe team if they're going to make a comeback. Rocky Gorge, on the other hand, riding high. Rocky Gorge, a physical team too. They're all built like houses. These boys, and can take these punishing hits.
Good attempt to get the arms free. Referee says play on, and play on they do.
Plenty of space out wide now for Rocky Gorge. Doing a nice job of sliding off these tackles. Here comes the slider.
Enough forward there, but not for lack of trying by Rocky Gorge, Eric. The first rule of rugby that any young man or woman, boy or girl hears when they enter the sport is go forward. And, those words sum up perfectly what Rocky Gorge is trying to do. Very little in the way of wide play, very direct, good leg pumping, good body positions, good energy levels from the Rocky Gorge forwards. And, I think that they're going to just call for more of the same at halftime. The question will be, what's going to be said in the Tempe huddle to get them and their ship righted here in the national championship game?
So now we're coming to weak side. Ryan Thompson, nice line from Thompson. Back up to Tefu. Good quick ball here from Tempe. Working their way forward. Little Tefu. Big, hard run from him for a small kid. Here's Ryan Thompson, a U20 himself, a former U20 himself. And Tempe gets a penalty. Okay, so Tempe finally putting some phases together here.
A bold idea, Eric, if that's what they're talking about, going for the post. We have players pointing at the post.
I think they're not going for the post. They want to go for touch, is what I think they're pointing at. Yeah, Ryan Thompson going to go for touch. And it is a good enough kick. So Tempe will have a line out now around the 22-meter line. And this is where they need to be. They really got to put something together right here that is organized. There's not a lot that's been organized for Tempe once the ball gets to kind of the 9 to 10 spot. The 10 has had a lot of errors in its throwing, and the line out is not secured.
Again, an unforced errors, and it's somewhat justice that's the way this half is going to end, Eric. Another unforced error from Tempe, and Rocky Gorge has been full value for their 15-0 lead.
Well, that brings us to halftime of the Emirates Airline USA Rugby Men's Division II National Championship game. Rocky Gorge on top of Tempe, the Tempe Old Devils, 15-0, and this is certainly a tight game, still anybody's game, but as we've been talking about, what's going to happen is Tempe needs to fire themselves up at halftime.
There really is not any great mystery to what needs to happen, Eric. It's a simple matter of organization. I mean, no team, no matter how strong their attacking threats can be, can survive off individual efforts, aimless kicking, handling errors. The intercept try was, the nail in the coffin of the first half for Tempe. They really need to set matters straight. That attempt that they had in the closing moments of the first half was the result of direct play, going forward, continuity, offloading, more of that is needed. And I think if they can go forward, then there's going to be the opportunity for them to go wide. But it's got to right itself quickly. 15-0 against a team that has not surrendered a single point so far. Even the high-flying offense that Tempe brings with them is going to have to work hard to overcome that deficit.
And we're seeing the pick six try, if you will, for Rocky Gorge, putting them up 15-0. And we are now going to go to break. This is the second half coming up. Division II National Championship. Jeff Hall, Eric Tabor. We'll be right back. And we are back at the Emirates Airline Division II Men's National Championship between the Tempe Old Devils and Rocky Gorge. Tempe in black playing from right to left on your screen in this second half, with Rocky Gorge playing from left to right in the blue, dark blue strip, or purple you could call it.
A lot of anxiousness from Tempe rugby fans on Twitter, Eric, at our hashtag NCS2014. This is Jeff Hull from CNN's Bleacher Report here with you at the USA Emirates Airline National Club Championships, along with my colleague Eric Tabor.
Yeah, Jeff, it's as you're saying, the NCS 2014 hashtag. Old Blue or Old Devils fans out there slightly nervous, as we were saying before the half. No one really kind of figured that this was going to be the case. Rocky Gorge, very, very good team. Knew they were going to keep it tight, but 15 points at halftime is a bit surprising. Oh, and here's a turnover for Tempe now. And now here's Tempe moving the ball quick. This is more of their stuff. This Ryan Thompson. Ryan Thompson, 1 step to go. He's still on his feet, brought down. Quick ball again for the Old Devils. Ruben Villegas. Oh, and another sloppy pass between the 9 and 10. German Muller, the number 7, seems to find himself in the offensive pattern. He's kind of in the middle of the centers there, so he's not quite sure what pattern to play. But regardless, here come the Old Devils, still on their feet, still moving forward. That's Villegas again. Tempe coming out firing in this second half.
Rolling forwards in waves, Eric, and here they come again.
Oh, ball left on the deck. And a penalty to the Old Devils. Ryan Thompson wants a quick tap. He's not going to get it.
But still very encouraging signs from Tempe here at the National Championships. That is exactly the type of play that was missing in the first half. Going forward, refusing to spin the ball wide, quick hands, looking for space, looking for mismatches down the short side, and it's won them excellent field position and a penalty here early in the second half.
Well, I tell you, the same things that did plague them in the first half are starting to creep in here too. We've had 2 bad passes from the 9 to 10 combo there, and number 7, German Muller, he collected a pass that was kind of suspect at best. He wasn't really expecting it. But regardless, Alex Tefu, number 16, about to put the ball in. We have a substitute now, number 22 coming on the field at fly half for number 10. Pete Ressler's out. Number 22, Lindsey Pingenberg, on now in the first receiver position.
Could be a defensive substitution, Eric. A lot of size coming into the fly half position for Rocky Gorge, and here in the goal line, a big moment in the game, and immediate impact made by the new player, downing his opponent. But here come Tempe.
That's Tefu. Good ball retention there. There's the youngest Tefu, and it's a big line jump for, that's number 21, Christopher Iosifo, a try for the Tempe Old Devils. Iosifo puts the Old Devils on board, 5 points to 15 now, and that is exactly the start that Tempe needed for the second half. They had to come out, strike first, strike quick, and now they're going to have to strike often if they're going to climb back in this game.
Well, we knew that they had the ability, Eric, but it's the north-south approach that has changed. They've come out running directly at Rocky Gorge, testing their fitness, asking questions of the defense, and that try was a perfect example of that. The ball taken at speed, right on the try line, demanding that Rocky Gorge make those big hits on the goal line if they were going to keep Tempe out, and that did not happen.
There's a beautiful unders line taken there. Alex Tefu picked the ball up at number 9. Looked like he was going wide. Threw the short ball to Iosifo, coming under like that. Crashed through a couple defenders. Beautiful play.
The question now becomes, what can Rocky Gorge do in response? Another try for Tempe is going to see their tails rise, their energy level pick up even more than it has. Rocky Gorge has to respond here in order to shift the momentum of this match back in their favor. And it looks a little bit like they're taking their time walking to the line, trying to suck in that oxygen for a big effort here.
Seeing a little bit of worry on these faces of the Rocky Gorge team. Oh, looked like he took him in the air. That's a penalty. Number 19 for the Old Devils. That is, I don't have his number on here. There's Casey Marilat. Taken in the air, so that's going to be a penalty to Tempe, and the referee having a word with the Rocky Gorge captains.
It's good management by the referee there, not seeing any intent to take the player in the air. It's definitely a penalty. You don't like to see a card handed out to a player in that situation, and that would detract from the game. But again, that's not the response that Rocky Gorge wanted, taking a penalty in that situation. It's cost them field position. And if Tempe can execute in the line out here deep into the Rocky Gorge end, it's going to be another good attacking position for them.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of indiscipline from Rocky Gorge. I think their emotions are running high after a great first half, and they're going to do everything they can to keep that emotion. Oh, and there's a nice line from Tamo Piafau. Ooh, a chip kick ahead there. Dangerous stuff from Tempe. Rocky Gorge collects, still on their feet. And a good clearing kick there from number 22.
Carried back into his own end, though, Eric. So what we're going to see is the ball come all the way back, again putting Rocky Gorge under pressure. And certainly it was a good clearing kick, but the ball having been carried back into the 22 sacrifices that field position and gives Tempe another excellent line-out opportunity. They're bringing with them a new direct style, direct runs at the Rocky Gorge defense with powerful legs and shoulders, and they're going to ask Rocky Gorge to have to make those big tackles.
Line out not straight, however, so another unforced error really cost the Tempe Old Devils. Before the scrum here, we'll take a second to talk about the USA versus Scotland. Eagles take on Scotland June 7th next week at BBVA Compass Stadium in Houston, Texas. Don't miss the best fan fest in America. Get your tickets and more info at usarugby.org/USAVSCO.
Look at that scrum go backwards, Eric. A big push by Tempe in that situation. They certainly have the go forward in the scrum, and Rocky Gorge lucky to hang on to possession there.
Rocky Gorge inching it forward. Nifty little box kick type thing from Seiler. But here is Ryan Thompson now. Ryan Thompson's got some space. He's putting it out. Oh, James Viafale can't hold on to it. Another unforced error, and Viafale is upset. He throws the ball away. And really, the Tempe Old Devils are a bit rattled.
They have done this to themselves because the mistakes that plagued them in the first half have continued here in the second, despite some reinvigorated direct running from Tempe. And mistakes like that are just momentum killers. They've sacrificed 50 yards of field position and now find themselves under having to defend a scrum deep in their own end, really for no other reason than not being able to hold on to a pass with no pressure. So we'll see what Rocky Gorge can create here. I would look for a pickup at the back of the scrum, and there it is.
Tempe scrum looking strong, though. They just need to create some turnover, and there is a turnover off that. Nicely done from Tempe to tie up the runner. So it looks like that's going to be Ryan Thompson, sends the ball into touch, and we are going to go down to Shannon Bastillo. Shannon, what do you got for us?
Hi, guys. It's interesting that before the half, I was kind of looking at the Tempe coach. He seemed pretty contemplative, and I was kind of wondering what he was going to say to his boys to come out and start the second half. Then I overheard the Rocky Gorge coach say, we need to connect, and it seemed like Tempe started to put that together at the start of the second half, which I think some of their fans have started to see more of things that they recognize with Tempe. They've mostly been down in their green zone. Tempe has this half, but they need to hang on to that ball. There's no way they're going to score if they don't have that ball.
Two solid connections there from Tempe. Moving that ball wide like they want to. They just need to keep it up. Less drop balls the better for Tempe. And there it is. Open. Oh, they retained the ball. Sione Latoy. Nice crash ball.
The history lesson that Rocky Gorge need to study very, very hard here in these last 30 minutes, Eric, is the lesson they learned from their semifinal, where they gave up a large number of points in the last 20 minutes. If their fitness can hold, if they can maintain their strong defense and their ball possession, or if drops like that happen, it's going to be a lot easier for them.
And again, the culprit, James Viafale, and Viafale just not having a good game at number 11. The talented young winger who is a U20 All-American out in Hong Kong this year. I don't think he dropped a ball the entire time he was in Hong Kong, but he's dropped 4 today.
Yeah, these type of stoppages are going to shoot Rocky Gorge just fine. They want the clock to keep ticking over. They want to be able to catch their breath here. They are ready to try and grind this clock down. They've scored their 15 points. One of the questions that they're going to have to ask themselves is a 10-point lead sufficient? Are we prepared to try and grind down the clock here, or do we want to assume a little more risk and try and tack over a few more points?
Another nice scrum. Rocky Gorge does well. I tell you, that number 8 for Rocky Gorge, Josh Brown, doing a great job of controlling the ball at the back of the scrums. Able to come out with it clean, and they don't want to do anything fancy off the scrum. They just want to take it up.
Low risk, high reward for Rocky Gorge at the moment, and their patterns are continuing. The question is, what is Tempe's fitness like? Are they going to be able to continue to stop these attacks? A little bit more width now.
Nice line there from number 12, Cherriman.
Work is the call from the Tempe sidelines, but it's Rocky Gorge who is doing the work right now. They drive for the line.
Rocky Gorge looking to spin it wide. Big pass out there to the prop, number 3. That's Tony Agia. Here comes the sub, Rico Colin.
Rocky Gorge players walking to the defensive line here. Players breathing in oxygen as fast as they can.
Held up in the end zone. So Rocky Gorge will have a 5-meter put-in scrum at 5 meters with the put-in. And look at the Tempe boys, hands on knees. Alex Tefu still sitting down. Here comes the spin. That's a nice line there that was Colin right there. Great line from him. The tackle's starting to slip off a little bit for Tempe. They've usually been fairly solid tackling in midfield. Starting to slide a little bit.
It may be that both teams are starting to show a little bit of wear in this really hotly contested championship game, Eric. But that was simply a crash ball. It was a 12 a run at the line from the inside center with legs pumping, and those are the type of questions that you have to ask of defenses in games like this, especially in the dying minutes. You have to ask who's got the energy left to make their tackles, who's going to be able to stop the hard runs at the line, and who wants this game more. And I think we're going to find that out here shortly.
Here's Josh Brown going for the line. Is he over? Josh Brown, the number 8, still held up. He's not there. Rocky Gorge retain possession.
Good body position and contact by Rocky Gorge. Some very small players in defense. The big men for Tempe need to get themselves to that area and quickly.
Rocky Gorge. Oh, and here's the scrum half looking to go wide. Nick Seiler. Seiler's in for a try for Rocky Gorge. Nick Seiler looked like he was going wide, decided to keep it himself, snuck around the corner for the try.
Rocky Gorge fans have to be absolutely ecstatic here. You watch, it's a simple run at the line off good body position, excellent setup by the Rocky Gorge forwards, making that ball available, simply allowing time for the next man to identify the space and run hard at that space. And that's exactly what happened. Rocky Gorge now reaping the rewards of their continuity, their possession, and the execution of what is a very, very effective game plan. Score is 20-5 with a conversion kick to come. And no matter how direct or threatening Tempe's backs and dynamic play can be, you sense that if they don't do something to reverse this trend soon.
Pingenberg's kick up. It has had the legs. It does. So Pingenberg puts Rocky Gorge up 22-5, 24-15 left to play in this second half of the D2 National Championship, brought to you by Emirates Airline.
Rocky Gorge sucking in the oxygen, but more telling perhaps is the pace at which Tempe are running to the line. They are the ones that need to chase the score now. They are the ones that need to play with a sense of urgency. And, they are moving rather slowly.
On the field now for Tempe, number 20, Kalepi Fafita. We mentioned him beginning of the broadcast. He is 18 years old, 3-year high school All-American, going to play football at Northern Arizona University. Keep an eye out for him. He's a big unit. He could bring some solidity to this Tempe forward pack.
When I was talking to the Rocky Gorge management earlier, I was asking them, you talk about ball control. Are you going to try and play field position here today? Are you going to try and kick it behind the Tempe backs and make them turn around and chase it? And they were a little evasive. They weren't sure they wanted to kick the ball
here's
at all.
a charge down kick. The 22 dropout charged down. Now Tempe under all kinds of pressure. Fifita with the ball. It was going to be a nice, easy kick out of bounds for Tempe, and now they're under all kinds of pressure, but they're going to run. That's Iosifo, 21, the big man. Oh, and there's a knock-on ball squirted loose from number 8, Palaviala Tamu Ipuyao. And another kick from Rocky Gorge, sending it back into the Tempe try zone.
As I was saying just a little while ago, Eric, the Rocky Gorge management were nervous before this game about wanting to kick to Tempe.
Carried back. I think the referee's saying it was carried back in. So I believe he's going for a 5-meter scrum to Rocky Gorge here.
What an opportunity this is. I mean, Rocky Gorge has had effective pickups at the back of the scrum all day. If they can do that again here, this may be the try that would seal the fate of Tempe and make Rocky Gorge the 2014 national champions. It's a threatening field position off another unforced error for Tempe.
It is warm out here. Rocky Gorge got the cramps. We've got a sub here for Rocky Gorge coming on. Number 16, Charles Dyson, coming on the field for number 4, James Rehak. And also coming on the field, number 12 for Tempe, that's Brandon Thompson. So both the Thompson boys on the field.
A big put into the scrum for Rocky Gorge here, Eric, but, again, we're seeing a number of resets, and all of this will suit Rocky Gorge just fine. Although it's an excellent attacking opportunity, they're not sad to see minutes begin to tick off the clock here to suck in those remaining breaths of oxygen for a big push for the line.
Yeah, Tempe needs to do something and do something fast if they're going to get back in this game. And there's the number 8 again, Josh Brown. Josh Brown earning a lot of votes for me for MVP right now. Just doing the hard work that needs to be done every single time there's a scrum, retaining that possession for Rocky Gorge.
Great body position and contact again by Rocky Gorge, making that ball available. A dive for the line and in.
So we've got another try for Rocky Gorge, and that about seals the deal. Jeff, I don't see Tempe clawing their way back out of this one.
Well, there's certainly no evidence of it, Eric. I mean, it's almost as if Rocky Gorge have taken the measure of their opponents and have decided that they're going to take this game and take it by both hands and win it. It doesn't seem to me as though they're fearful of anything Tempe can do to them in attack. Now they're kicking for position with far more regularity, and unless Tempe can find something in themselves and as a team that they haven't shown us yet in this game, this may be all she wrote. And Rocky Gorge look very good for their 27-5 lead right now.
Yeah, Rocky Gorge playing with a lot of confidence right now, and get that try scorer number to you as soon as we can. Couldn't quite make out on the replay who was responsible for it, but regardless, 27-5, Rocky Gorge on top of Tempe with the kick from number 22, Lindsay Pingenberg, to come.
Flag stayed down. And what we have here, ladies and gentlemen, is desperate times calling for desperate measures from Tempe. They walk again very slowly to the line. You wonder if anything that they can do would get them back into this match. Certainly they need to score now and then score again. And first they need to recover the ball. Incompetently taken by Rocky Gorge, and they're going to look to start grinding down the clock now.
Change of direction there from Pingenberg. Kick downfield. Alex Tefu looking to collect. He's under some pressure now. He's going to have to do something with it. He's all by himself. Tefu, nice job sneaking out of pressure. Still on his feet. Little Alex Tefu on his way forward. Nice job there from Tempe again. And not releasing the tackler is number 23, Kevin Jackson. So Tempe with the penalty. They're going to have to move quick here if they're going to do anything. Tap quick from Alex Tefu. Smart move from Tefu. Pass it out wide. Crash ball there. I think that's Fafita. No, that's Iosifo. Ryan Thompson. Nice little inside pass there from Thompson. Ooh, big tackle driven backwards.
Rocky Gorge needs to be very conscious now, Eric. They are a team that has bled points late in games before.
Iosifo laying the wood. And this is the kind of running they've been needing to do the whole game. Oh, little box kick from Tefu. Not sure if that was a smart idea. We've got a knock on, though, so advantage to Black. We're going to go down to Shannon Bastillos on the sideline. Shannon, what's up?
Hi, guys. Definitely the story of this game, I think, has been possession. You know, you just made a comment about the little box kick. That's given possession away, which is something that Tempe's pretty much done this entire game. Just missed passes and catches, knock-ons, and things that Rocky Gorge has just capitalized on. Once they get it, they've done something with it, and the score definitely shows that.
So we've got a player down here for Tempe. Can't quite tell who it is at this point. But the captain, Alex Tefu, calling for the trainer to come on and see what's going on. If we can make out a number. But regardless, for both teams, the water's being rushed on. It is a warm day out here in Madison at the 2014 Emirates Airline National Championship. So there's Iosifo's big hit. Great run from him. He's still on the deck there. He looks like he's fine.
And what you have there, Eric, is the box kick that Shannon was referring to. I mean, the time for box kicks is long since gone. Tempe, when they get back into this game, need to score immediately. You know, if they have something in their bag of tricks that they've yet to pull out, now would be an excellent time.
Unless there is a distinct reason for it. Unless the fullback is not there for Rocky Gorge, you don't want to box kick and give possession away.
Well, what you do by maintaining an enormous amount of possession in a game is you put pressure on team systems and team defenses. You know, you ask questions of them constantly. You know, you question people's fitness and you question their tackling skills. And so, Tempe has been put under a lot of pressure in this game, not because the men running at them are doing anything incredibly dynamic, but it is consistent. And so when you have a consistent pressure applied on you like that, it puts you under the microscope. And Tempe have really been found wanting in that regard this afternoon. Whatever it is they do after this game, whatever the result, they're going to want to address that as quickly as possible as this team moves forward.
So the injured player back on his feet. Daniel Bell, Tempe Old Devil, back up. We're running again. And 13:44 to play. Time ticking away for Tempe. They need to get back on the board. Tefu under some pressure. Ryan Thompson, make it to gain line. And another unforced error for Tempe. Number 1, Ruben Villegas, dropping the ball, turning it over. And Rocky Gorge will take their time to have this scrum down as the seconds count down.
What you have to ask yourself is, was this game ever winnable for Tempe? And it's not a question that can be easily answered because they really have not had a chance to show their attacking flair that we heard so much of coming into this match. Their own unforced errors have so damaged their cause that, that we really haven't had the opportunity to judge whether or not their attacking flair would have been something that would give Rocky Gorge problems. I mean, we've only seen the most bare minimum of that on display here today.
And in my opinion, the turning point was the intercept try. I mean, you saw at that very moment, you saw Tempe putting together some phases, starting to move it wide, and it looked like they had a little risky pass, get it out wide, but intercepted. Rocky Gorge runs it back, a try, and all of a sudden the backs of the Tempe Old Devils have been broken, and they have not recovered.
This is a Tempe team that put up 55 points versus Little Rock, that put up 35 points against the Glendale Raptors. I mean, 47 points against Oceanside. They're known for their ability to score rapidly and often, and yet you're right, Eric, that score, that intercept try really seemed to have their heads drop. They have not looked a dangerous side since then. And Rocky Gorge now have to just be licking their chops with 10 minutes left. It seems very unlikely, unless something miraculous happens, that Tempe's going to be able to make a push to challenge here.
And two of their more dangerous runners have just really had a quiet game. James Viafale, as we mentioned, a lot of knock-ons from him today. Siona Latoy maybe touched the ball 4 times in the whole game. These are guys that Tempe needed to have big games and needed to put the ball in their hands a lot. And it just hasn't happened. Oof, big run there. I tell you, if Tempe were to win this game, I would almost give my man of the match to Pavalaya Tommy Ipalau. Totally butchered that name. But anyway, we're off to the races here. Here's Ryan Thompson now. Ryan Thompson still on his feet. Is going to go for the line. Forced out of bounds. Nice run from Thompson.
One of the better runs that Tempe has had here in the second half. And for those of you who are enjoying this match, make sure you stay tuned for our 2 remaining matches, both Division I contests, our Division I Women's Championship, and later at 7 p.m., it's Life University versus New Orleans in the National Men's 1 Division Championship game. What a contest that is going to be under the lights here in Madison, Wisconsin.
Yeah, some really exciting rugby coming our way. Life University looking to collect their second straight national championship, I believe, and that is just, it's a testament to the hard work that Scott Lawrence, Dan Payne have all put in down there at Life. Oh, here's some nice stepping going on. This is Adrian Tefu. Tempe moving it wide. Oh, and Iosifo drops the ball. Well, while we've got a quick break in the action, we are going to take a second to talk about USA Wheelchair Rugby. USA Rugby is excited to announce their partnership with USA Wheelchair Rugby and the Lakeshore Foundation. To learn more about this partnership and the #1 ranked wheelchair rugby team in the world, check out their Facebook page. That's USA Wheelchair Rugby.
Rocky Gorge standing over another scrum in their own end, looking to secure possession. And what an excellent job their number 8 has done all day with that. Here we see it again. And that young man has been largely responsible for some of the really positive things going on with Rocky Gorge today.
Yeah, Josh Brown, a monster of a game for Rocky Gorge. He really hasn't done anything wrong. He's been responsible for controlling the ball at the back of that scrum that's been under pressure all day long. And he's, also added a try to his roster too. So great job there. And another pick pass, but we got a whistle.
Some clapping coming from the Tempe sidelines, asking their men to finish strong here, to finish with pride. And I think in a situation like this, that's what you want to see. You want to find something in the late stages of the game that you can feel good about and point to. There's going to be a lot of bitter memories for Tempe to deal with and to digest in the aftermath of this. But if they can take something away late in the second half, it'll be a positive for them to digest, along with all of the disappointments that happened today.
There was a behind-the-back pass from number 18 for the Old Devils to Iosifo. And Iosifo brought the heat, but there was a knock on, and again.
Those were the type of runs that Tempe
Yeah.
needed earlier in this game,
Yeah.
Eric. I mean, if you had seen runs like that in the first 15 minutes, it really might have put Rocky Gorge back on their heels. It's just simply too little, too late now. You know, that was a gigantic run at the line. Rocky Gorge doing well to keep Tempe out in that situation, but a crushing run.
And a penalty to Rocky Gorge for not binding properly. So Tempe just shooting themselves in the foot now. And I think at this stage there's just not much they can do to get back in this game. They're getting close. They're making all the efforts, but they're just not crisp enough right now.
Well, rugby is actually a simple game, and you know, there's a lot of rules that the casual fan might not be able to digest easily. But basically, it's a game about taking the ball and going forward. And that's what Rocky Gorge has done with just so much confidence and precision today. And you know, when you play a more wide and attacking game, when you play a more lateral game, you have to execute properly. You have to not drop balls. You have to not shoot yourself in the foot with aimless kicks. And you know, you have to make the most of the opportunities you have. And unfortunately, that more complex game plan did not serve Tempe well today. And they have not been able to execute. And I'm sure, you know, there'll be a lot of reflective moments in the aftermath of this. Simply not enough precision from a team that was putting up 40 and 50 points in their games that they've played in the playoffs before today.
Well, you know, as a guy who spent a lot of time with Salty Thompson, who has spent a lot of time with this Tempe Old Devils team, his main message to the younger players, the high school Americans, is always passing and catching. Can you execute the pass and catch? Can you execute the 2-on-1? And it's just been the passing and catching that's let Tempe down today. And so, you know, it comes back down to the basics. It's always the simple stuff.
So much of you know, the domestic game here in the United States is moving gifted players onto higher levels of rugby. Salty Thompson knows more about that than most, and he will not be pleased at some of the basic errors. You know, when you go over to Europe and you start looking at sides, Clermont-Auvergne or Stade Francais in France, Saracens in the English Premiership, you watch them train, and so much of what they do is basic pass and catch drills, you know, confidence with the ball in hand, confidence under pressure. And it's just so when big games like this happen, you know, you do not put yourself under pressure, you do not blow field position with silly mistakes. And unfortunately, you know, Rocky Gorge has been the team that has played without those errors today, and they have come to haunt Tempe.
Wow. And that was the wrong guy to run into.
That's very worrying.
Yeah,
that's very worrying, Eric. We have a player down on the field that's fairly motionless right now.
And that was through no fault of anybody's the pass, and that was Iosifo reaching for that pass, and the tackler can't get a number on him right now. Just came in, you know, in contact right with his shoulder. So that looks a bit worrying. The players immediately knew what was going on, and unfortunately, we've got a man out right now.
Certainly something you don't like to see, Eric, when you have a player down right now. The medical attention that players receive at tournaments like this, fortunately, is very good. The referee and the medical staff will be taking no chances with the health of players in this situation. And it's unfortunate, you know, games, you do not like to see an injury like this late in a game. But, you know, very well attended is the player who's down right now. And of course, everybody will be sending their best thoughts
Yep, they're bringing in the ambulance right now too. So, well, while we have a second here, we're going to take a break, and we are going to say that USA Rugby Academy, powered by Sir Revy, is identifying and developing America's next top rugby players. Be seen and taught by national team coaches at a training camp near you by visiting SirRevyRugby.com and using hashtag Better Never Stops to share your story. That's SirRevyRugby.com.
on, Tempe! Let's go, Ryan. Right here, Brandon, come on.
And we're back now. The injured player has been taken off the field. This is the first scrum since the injured player was removed. So, you know, Jeff, you hate to see that kind of stuff. We are back in action here. We've got 6 minutes left to play in this national championship. And Rocky Gorge has done everything right today. We've talked a lot about how Tempe's done a lot of things wrong, but Rocky Gorge has done everything right, and it's been really a pleasure to watch.
It has. They've executed their game plan absolutely perfectly, Eric. And, you know, on just a side note, it was very nice to see the support that the Tempe players exhibited for the down player. They're walking over and making sure that the Rocky Gorge players knew of their interest in the welfare of their teammate and colleague and opponent here on the national championship. Some very high class shown by Tempe as well.
Yeah, you love to see the sportsmanship at the national championship level, and you know, that's just another one of the reasons that I love the game of rugby, is because of the sportsmanship that is always put into it.
So yet another put into the scrum for Rocky Gorge, as we have 5 minutes left here, and we're going to look to see if they can end this game as they've started and as they have all day, executing their ball possession plan, moving forward. You know, using their forwards to grind and create gaps, and ultimately score tries. So they would love to take this up over the 30-point mark. And there's a little bit of creativity.
Yeah, handy little jab through the line there, and yet another thing that's going to chew up some clock. Looks like Ryan Thompson wanted to go fast there. Wasn't going to happen. So all of a sudden now we're down under 5 minutes to play.
One of the things, Eric, that I think bears mentioning is that no team is defined by the outcome of any one game, and certainly this Tempe squad has had a remarkable season, you know, demonstrating a number of really sensational results and some excellent talent, and there's no quit in them today.
And here's a great piece of talent right here. Number 18, Fitu Paga. Fitu Paga makes a big break for the Old Devils, turns it over. Here comes Rocky Gorge. Rocky Gorge, you know, a lot of ball going to deck for Tempe, and Rocky Gorge did a great job of counterattacking. As soon as they have some possession, they're right back at it.
It's going to be all A's on the report card for Rocky Gorge. You feel that it may be a long time before the coach even needs to go through this tape with them to identify anything that he may or may not have been concerned with. It's been such a complete performance. They're even starting to include now some very high-quality tactical kicking to get field position, which was something, as we discussed, they weren't exceptionally comfortable with in the early stages of this game. So
yeah, you've got to do a big thumbs up to head coach Will Brewington, former Eagle, and his assistants Nick DeMichelle, Mark Cyphers, and Sid Miller. Great job working with this Rocky Gorge team so far this year. There's number 8. We've been calling his name out a lot today, Josh Brown. Talk about doing things right for your team. Josh Brown really hasn't had a sidestep all day.
And now you can see him barking out orders to his fellow forwards, Eric, making sure that they know exactly what the plan is. Rocky Gorge rolling forward as they have most of this day.
Yeah, and they're keeping it simple. At this point, they see no need in really changing up the game plan. A few, you know, forward crashes, keeping going across the field, bring the defense across, attack the other way. They want to kick for some points here. Number 13, that's Derek Chell. He sees no reason not to kick for points right now. That should soak up the last 2 minutes of this game, the last minute at least.
And I think that that's the respectful and smart decision on the part of Rocky Gorge. We're in the dying minutes of the game. This kick is going to eat up a minute of playing time. there's no need, to go for the line out in this situation and try and, turn the screw. So we'll see. This can take them up over 30 points, which would be a very nice total, to round out a complete performance for their club today.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing the pictures coming up with the trophy presentation, the medals awarding. Like this Rocky Gorge team has certainly earned this championship. And, this is a team that we were talking about earlier, has been here before. They've advanced to the national playoffs the last 4 years, and they won the D2 Men's Club Championship over Wisconsin in 2012. That game played out in Glendale, Colorado. So they're used to this high level of rugby. Tempe has been here before as well. They were national runners-up in 06, 03, and 96. And, it's been a long time between drinks for Tempe. And so you kind of wonder if the fact that they have a young team, very young team, paired with they haven't been to a championship in a lot of years, if that's just a level that they haven't been used to playing.
Yeah, their head coach, Junior Fasau, was telling me at the beginning of this game, it was a process by which they built this squad over about a 3-year period where, this group of men have been together for quite some time. In order to reach this level, they had to discover team systems that worked well for them. And, just like any good practitioner of coaching will do, he'll get back to the drawing board and start learning the lessons from today's performance. But today belongs to Rocky Gorge.
And it certainly does. Rocky Gorge, your 2014 Division II national champions. A nice big win over Tempe Old Devils, 29-5. And that was a fantastic game of D2 rugby, and we've been talking about it all day long. Rocky Gorge made a game plan. They executed the game plan. They stuck to it. They win. And that's how smart rugby's played. And here comes the Maryland flag being waved high on the field. Well, as the teams shake hands here, folks, don't move a muscle. We don't want to go anywhere right now. We got the Women's D1 National Championship coming up here at 4:45 Central Time. Chicago North Shore versus Oregon Sports Union. And then at 7 p.m., it's the big one, Life versus New Orleans. The Men's D1 National Championship right here at Brees Field in Madison, Wisconsin. So as we look down on the field now, more hugs, more smiles from players. And we're going to get ready for the trophy presentation. We'll let these pictures speak for themselves for just a minute. And as the celebrations continue for Rocky Gorge, the MVP trophy being presented by USA Rugby's Jim Snyder to Rocky Gorge's number 8, Josh Brown. Josh Brown, a try scorer in this game, and Jeff, as we've mentioned, just did everything right. He was Mr. Workhorse today for Rocky Gorge.
At the center of everything good, Eric. And I mean, you really need leaders like that on the field when you're trying to execute a very simple but effective game plan, as Rocky Gorge did today. You know, he is going to be someone that I'm sure this club will be looking to when they get back on the field next season and trying to make it back to the national championships.
And there it is, the national championship trophy held high, the Maryland flag waving behind it. Your Division II Emirates Airline USA Rugby 2014 national champions, Rocky Gorge. All right, folks, don't move a muscle. We have got the Women's Division I National Championship coming right up at 4:45. Chicago North Shore from just down the road versus Oregon Sports Union. It's going to be a cracker. Don't move a muscle. And we're back with the MVP of the game, Josh Brown. Josh Brown, a try scorer on the day. Josh, how does it feel to be national champion?
It feels great. We've been working for this for 2 years. I couldn't imagine a better feeling in the world.
Now, you guys certainly had a game plan out there today to attack this very, sort of free-flowing Tempe team. Tell me about the game plan and how you stuck to it.
Well, we knew their backs were really strong. I mean, they're a strong team overall, but we knew their backs could score from anywhere on the field, so we decided, hey, let's just keep it in our forwards. We've been confident in all of our players all year, and we knew that our forwards would and could be the ones that put it away. So we try to keep the game tight offensively. Defensively, we try to keep the game wide. We made sure that we played with them every single step of the way.
And so you guys certainly no strangers to this championship event. You're winners in 2012. What does it feel like to get back on that podium?
It honestly feels better than the first one. The first one we didn't know. We didn't think we were going to make it, and this one we didn't think we were going to make it anymore. All we knew was that we had to work harder than we worked last year, and we had to work harder than we did the year that we won it, because teams are getting better and better. It's a growing sport, and everyone's getting better. Everyone's figuring out better ways to be better teams. So we just figured we had to work harder. If we're not going to be better rugby players, we work harder. We go out, we run, we hang out together. We make sure that everything's a team activity.
Josh Brown, MVP, the 2014 National Championship. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
All right, and we will be right back with the Women's National Championship D1 coming up.